The black and white era of films gave us several classics. While some are revered by critics and fans alike, the others have been swept under the sand of time. In this video, we will explore the scariest and most thrilling creature and monster horror films that deserve more love and remembering by their patrons. I mean, think about films like The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's the very film that inspired Guillermo Del Toro to make The Shape of Water. Similarly, there have been many other films from the past that have provided us with novel and definitive monsters that changed the course of horror films forever. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to us. It may be a small click from you, but it goes a long way for us. Let's begin, shall we? Number 1. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1954. A group of geologists found the fossilized remains of an arm with webbed fingers, and excited by this discovery, they wished to learn more. Unfortunately for them, they learned that more such fossils could be discovered at a place called the Black Lagoon, a paradise from where no one returned alive. At the Black Lagoon, the group learns about the existence of an amphibious humanoid, a living member of the creatures to whom the fossil belonged. The creature killed several of the expeditionists and developed a strong interest in a pretty girl from the group. While no one remembers the Hollywood stars like Richard Carlson and Julie Adams, the creature from the Black Lagoon, or Gilman, has remained forever present in the minds of filmmakers. Among these is the legendary monster film director Guillermo Del Toro, who was heavily inspired by this 1954 film while making his Oscar-winning film, The Shape of Water. Clearly, the effect of this decades-old film is that it warms the heart, stuns the mind, and effectively wets the pants. Bride of Frankenstein, 1935. As per Mary Shelley, the story didn't end with the death of Frankenstein and the destruction of his monster. In fact, they both survived, but Frankenstein escaped. Meanwhile, Dr. Pretorius, the disgraced colleague of Henry Frankenstein, forced and blackmailed him into working together and creating another life, a woman, who would serve as Frankenstein's wife so that they would procreate and give birth to a new race of beings. However, Frankenstein's monster has escaped and met a blind hermit, from whom the monster learns about various aspects of being human and the good that it brings. Things worsen further when Frankenstein's bride doesn't take the monster as her mate. Director Whale's film is one of the seminal achievements of Hollywood cinema. It is a brilliant sequel to the original film, and will remain one of the greatest films of its genre, something that serves as a lasting tribute to the unique genius of director Whale. As far as the humor is concerned, it's been carefully dealt with.
Now he's so madly in love with her that we have to segregate them. Now.
Much like Frankenstein as a film was influential on the future zombie and other horror films, Bride of Frankenstein served as a definitive example for horror comedies. We strongly suggest each of you visit or revisit this forgotten classic that served as a turning point for Hollywood cinema.
That'll keep you quiet.
Number 3. Them, 1954. After a young girl is found wandering in a catatonic state in the New Mexico desert, cops realized that her parents and a few locals had been killed under mysterious circumstances.
No cat ever lived leave a print like that.
When evidence is sent to the FBI, it is revealed that the murders had been committed by giant man-eating ants that had mutated because of nuclear testing in 1945. Department of Agriculture sends ant scientists, Dr. Medford and his daughter Dr. Pat Medford, to help Special Agent Robert Graham in taking care of the ant problem. They manage to destroy the nest in the desert, but two young queen ants manage to flee the spot in search of new homes to start their nests. If the monstrous pests are not taken care of, this ant problem might be the end of the world. Whether you call this 1954 film Godzilla, but with ants, or the step ant of xenomorphs, is up to you. One thing that's definite is that director Gordon Douglas' film is pure entertainment, and was a feat achieved in neo-monster movies at a time when the science fiction genre was still developing. Apart from being reasonably horrible and horrific, it wasn't absurdly sensational, as is the case with several other monster movies.
Okay, burn 'em up.
Number 4, Island of Lost Souls, 1932. Edward Parker is rescued by a freighter, but gets into a fight with the drunk captain of the freighter, who tosses Edward on a boat that was bound for a remote tropical island owned by the mysterious and notorious Dr. Moreau. Arriving on the island, Edward learns that its residents have bestial characteristics, and yet, he develops a relationship with a woman named Loda, who was created from a panther. In reality, Dr. Moreau had been carrying out experiments to transform into humans using procedures like plastic surgery, blood transfusions, gland extracts, etc. Edward immediately tries to escape from this strange island filled with lost souls, but mad scientist Dr. Moreau would do anything to stop that. Based on H.G. Wells' 1896 novel The Island of Dr. Moreau, the film was poorly received and banned in most states because of scenes such as vivisection of animals and the portrayal of Dr. Moreau as someone who knew how to create life and feel like God. However, these were the pre-code time, making the people less tolerant. Island of Lost Souls is a fine horror film with elements of claustrophobia and paranoia. Also, it has continued to influence many future films on similar subjects. Number 5, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1931. Dr. Jekyll had always been a mild-mannered man of science who loved his fiancée to the moon and kept himself away from desires. However, he always believed that each man had the potential to enhance good and evil. When his fiancée Muriel goes away with her father for a few days, Dr. Jekyll begins to experiment with a potion that could transform his psyche. He takes this potion but transforms into one Mr. Hyde, a ruthless, violent, amoral man, who indulges in all desires there are. He not only cheats on Muriel with Ivy, but also murders Ivy in cold blood. Dr. Jekyll soon realizes that he cannot control his transformation into the impulsive Mr. Hyde, and this puts everything at risk, including his life. Based on Robert Louis Stevenson's 1886 novella called The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and directed by Ruben Mamoulian, the film was a tense and shuddering affair. Adding to the beauty were stellar performances, especially by Frederick March in the titular role, for which he won that year's Academy Award for Best Actor, making it the first horror film to receive an Academy Award. Mr. Hyde's simian and hairy body, with sharp canine teeth, gave him a werewolf-like appearance. All in all, Mamoulian's film is worth a visit if you are into a well-written horror film. That was all in today's video. Do hang around and check our other videos for awesome movie recommendations. Have a good one.